Hello, and welcome to It's Too Easy, a simulated hour-long Tom Brady stand-up comedy special. Call me Dude Z. I have used data from hours of Tom Brady interviews and hundreds of thousands of hours of astonishing stand-up comedy to generate the first simulated hour-long stand-up comedy special in history. I hope you enjoy it. And now it is my pleasure to welcome to the stage the greatest football player in the history of the species, Tom Brady.
Thank you, Dude Z, and thank you everyone for coming out tonight. Wow, it feels great to be back in front of a crowd. But I gotta say, even though this is a much smaller crowd than I'm used to, this is far more nerve-wracking. On the football field, I got to wear shoulder pads, a helmet. Hell, I had 5 350-pound men that were paid millions of dollars to protect me. But up here on this stage, I only got one thing. You know what it is? A midlife crisis. Seriously, though, thank you all for coming out tonight. I don't want to waste your time, so I'm just going to get right to it. The question that's on everyone's mind, the answer is yes, I'm still having sex with supermodels. That's never going to change. Anybody in the crowd tonight believe in intelligent design? Yeah, okay. Now, I'm about to say something that is going to make you see intelligent design in an entirely new way. So if you want to keep thinking about intelligent design in the same way you do now, plug your ears or go get a drink at the bar in the lobby. For real, okay, now everybody can argue about whatever or whoever you think the intelligent designer is, but one thing is indisputable. That motherfucker loves shit. Like, why would you design the human body to have to push pounds of shit out of it multiple times a day? Why would you also design the human body so it can produce so many different kinds of shit if you didn't absolutely love shit? I mean, you're not just sitting around dreaming up diarrhea if you don't want to drink a few cups of it. So again, whatever or whoever you think the intelligent designer is, it is 100% jerking off while it watches you shit. Just no other explanation. I'm actually not mad at shitting, though. I low-key love it. It's fun. We all like it. Amber Heard shitting in Johnny Depp's bed was legitimately the best story of last year because we all secretly wanted to know what that would be like, to take a massive shit in the bed. So I decided I'd find out by playing one more season. Sorry, Bucks fans. Everybody was saying, oh, Amber Heard shouldn't be allowed to be in any movies ever again. Excuse me, are you serious? She should be in every movie that has Johnny Depp in it. Come on, studios. Come on, Netflix. This is a no-brainer. Pay them what they want. No matter what the story is, every movie has to have a scene with Heard trying to shit in Depp's bed. Sometimes she does. Sometimes she gets caught or can't go. Maybe she didn't eat at Arby's that day. I don't know. Another good one would be Will Smith and Chris Rock. It took Chris Rock a year to come out with his special after Will Smith attacked him at the Oscars. You could have had 2 Amazon movies made with them by now. Their movies always have a scene where Will Smith hits Chris Rock. Sometimes it's an accident, sometimes he gets forced to, sometimes it's just a movie version of the actual Oscars. Maybe they get to play each other, switch it up, I don't know. All I know is we got to keep these stories alive. This is our legacy, America. I think a lot of people thought I'd be bad at this, but honestly, it's pretty easy. Not as easy as winning a Super Bowl, but pretty easy. You know, when I decided I was going to do stand-up, I asked some other big comics what kind of comedy they thought I should start with, and I got some great advice. Across the board, they said, stay away from talking about football. Talk about anything else in your life, but if you're serious about comedy, you can't rely on who you were as a football player. And I said, can I talk about my divorce? And they said, you know what, you should talk about football. Show of hands. How many people here tonight have been in a huddle? Okay, put your hand down if your last huddle was in Pop Warner. Okay, put your hand down if your last huddle was in high school, college, the XFL, the CFL, the NFL, the playoffs, the Super Bowl, 2 Super Bowls, 3 Super Bowls, 4 Super Bowls, 5 Super Bowls, 6 Super Bowls, 7 Super Bowls. Now look around. You see anybody with their hands still up? Damn right you do. Anybody on the apps right now? I'm recently single and thinking about getting on them, but here's the problem. I've never been on them. I don't really know what I'm doing. Someone sent me a message on Bumble. She said, you look just like Tom Brady. And I said, I am Tom Brady. She said, prove it. So I went to her house and let a little air out of all of her footballs. Guys in the audience, you ever hear this from the women in your life? It's not fair. Guys get better looking as they get older, but women don't. Well, I don't know about that, ladies. I'm looking out into this crowd right now, and I am seeing some seriously fucking ugly old guys. Getting old sucks, though. I don't know if I'm getting better looking or not, but I can tell you one thing I can't do anymore. Suck my own dick. Yeah, you heard me right. I know you know people can do this. I know you've seen it on the internet. Well, I used to be one of those people. Then somewhere about 2 or 3 years ago, I just couldn't do it anymore. Don't know if my dick shrank or my spine just lost flexibility, but let me tell you something. If you are a person who can still suck your own dick, cherish it, because you will never have a worse moment than when you're naked, ass in the air, folded up on top of yourself, just staring at your own dick dangling a 1/4 inch from your lips, realizing that you'll never be able to suck your own dick again. You want to know the most common question I get asked about my playing days? How many players are using steroids? People are really concerned about steroids in the NFL. They say it's cheating. Maybe it is. I don't really know. But one thing I do know is football is the place you want steroids. It's a violent sport that we all play willingly, and most of us get paid very well to do it. You know where you don't want steroids? Childcare. Think about it. Would you rather have football players maybe playing a little above their natural means, or Becca at Bright Beginnings tearing your kid's head off after she flies into a roid rage because the vending machine ran out of Twix? If the steroids aren't in the NFL, they're going somewhere else. Think about it. So I got my first taste of acting last year, doing a movie called 80 for Brady. Thank you, thank you. People say, Tom, that wasn't really acting. You were just playing yourself. Not much of a stretch. But it was harder than most people realize because I wasn't just playing myself. I had to play myself with a winning record. So I had to dig pretty deep. Method acting. Again, sorry, Bucs fans, had to go there. I've been seeing a therapist for a little while now. Can't recommend therapy enough. It's really helped me out. If you've never done it, you should really try it at least once. I know a lot of people think it's just paying somebody to pretend to be your friend. But that's not what it is at all, because I don't have sex with my friends. I know what you're thinking. Therapists aren't supposed to have sex with their clients, unless, of course, they're massage therapists. Just ask Robert Kraft. Speaking of Kraft, how many people have ever eaten Kraft macaroni and cheese? We used to have Kraft macaroni and cheese eating contests in the locker room when I played for the Patriots. Belichick didn't like it. He'd always be like, "You're poisoning yourselves, you fucking idiots." We didn't care. We were building a sense of camaraderie. You know, bonding as a team. Until we found out Gronk was coming in the macaroni. This is too easy, really. Anybody in the crowd have kids? Nice, nice. I have kids, a few of them. You know what keeps me up at night sometimes? Wondering if I fucked up my kids' lives by being too good at football. I know that sounds ridiculous, but think about it. If any of my kids wants to be a football player, it's like, what's the point? They'll never be as good as their dad. And I didn't want them to be discouraged from doing something they loved. So I decided to go back for one more season and play like pure shit, Bucs fans. I am so sorry. Had to be done. Had to be done. No, kids are great. They really are. I love being a dad. But you know what I love even more than being a dad? Being a hot dad. Let's face it, gentlemen. You do not want all 6 feet 4 inches of me walking into a PTA meeting at your kid's school. When you get home, you're going to wonder why your wife is staring into space glassy-eyed while you and your kid are slopping down roast beef and cheddars from Arby's. Can we say awkward much? I know you don't want to hear that, but I'm just being honest. That's how it's going to go. You know I'm right. Can't help it. Seriously, though, World War III, is this shit happening or not? Personally, I'm ready. Bring it. I'm sick of waiting. People have been talking about it forever, but it never happens. It's like apocalypse edging. Can I come already? Jesus Christ. A lot of people want to know what it's like to be famous. Well, let me tell you, it's a blast. I love it. There are all kinds of perks that come with it. You can go anywhere you want, do anything you want. And probably the best part of being famous is you can just walk up to other famous people and start talking to them. I was at a party a few years back and I saw Bill Clinton across the room. Now, this is a former president, the most powerful man in the world. I'm just a football player, the greatest football player of all time, but still just a football player. But because I'm famous, I just walked right up to him and said, "This party is lame. When do you think things are going to turn up a notch?" And he looked me right in the eye and said, "I don't know. You'll have to ask Epstein." These are jokes, people. Come on, it's okay to laugh. You're at a comedy club. Music's a big thing now. I used to like music, but now there's too much, too many kinds. When I was a kid, you had country, pop, rock, and hip-hop, and that was it. And that was fine. That was all we needed. Now we got chill wave and new trance and dubstep and acid house, and I don't even know what else. If I wanted to listen to a bunch of annoying bullshit, I'd reconcile with my ex-wife. No, she's great. She's fantastic. We're on very good terms right now. Those would be the terms of our prenup. Got to have a prenup these days. Anybody out there thinking about getting married? Yeah? I hope it works out for you. I really do. But the sad truth is that all marriages end. Every one of them. Statistically, most end in divorce. And the rest end in death. I wasn't that lucky. I know a lot of people think prenups take the romance out of marriage. But you know what really kills the romance? A losing season. Bucs fans, are you with me? I started smoking marijuana now that I'm retired. Everybody's been telling me how great it is. It'll help you relax. It makes food taste better. It makes you more creative. No offense to the potheads out there, but that's all 100% grade A, grass-fed, on sale for $2.99 a pound bullshit. I smoked a joint the other day and turned on SpongeBob. People say that's what you're supposed to do when you're high, watch cartoons. I got 5 minutes into it and noticed I had my hand in my pants and I was jerking off to Squidward. That weed made me so horny I wasted the rest of the day looking up SpongeBob porn. Oh yeah, it exists. Don't pretend like you don't know about this shit. Everybody's worried about microaggressions now. Little things people do without even knowing it that can offend people. When I was growing up, we didn't have microaggressions. We had macroaggressions. We called them fights. You learn a lot about yourself in a fight, no doubt about it, but you learn a lot more about your friends, like how easy it is to kick their ass. I'm kidding, of course. I don't have any friends. Come on, this is too easy. It's true, though. It gets lonely at the top, so you have to find ways to deal with the isolation that comes with extreme success. I find looking at my bank statement helps a lot. So we all just came out of a global pandemic. Still a little weird to say, right? Because we're still figuring out what the actual effects of the past 2 years have been on society. The way we work has obviously changed forever. Everybody figured out they can do their jobs from home, so nobody wants to go into an office again. But employers are trying to get people to come back, and they don't know how to do it. I think they should offer a compromise. Come into the office, but you can keep a few things from the work-at-home lifestyle. You don't have to wear pants if you don't want to. For every 10 minutes of work you do, you can watch TikTok for an hour. You can take a nap whenever you want, even if it's on the toilet. And of course, you should be able to masturbate 3 to 4 times a day. You listening Google, you listening Apple, you listening Facebook, I'm trying to help you out here. Or I guess it's not Facebook anymore, right? Mark Zuckerberg changed it to Meta. A lot of people gave him shit for that, but I liked it. In fact, I think the top 10 most successful companies in the world should have to change their names every year. And I think we should get to vote on the new names. Make them more honest to what the companies actually do. I don't know what the fuck Meta is, but only moms, I get that. Makes sense and it's accurate. Double the price of an Asus for no reason makes way more sense than Apple. Or maybe license to shame your friends with Androids. Yell at strangers while you take a shit and then feel worse about yourself for the rest of the day instead of Twitter. We made an AI that's going to destroy the world. Now we just need to figure out how to monetize it instead of Google. Drive how you want, park where you want, fuck everyone else instead of Tesla. Get catfished by a prostitute immediately instead of Tinder. Show of hands, who's been catfished? Okay, quite a few. Now show of hands, who has catfished somebody? Come on, be honest. We're all family here, no judgment. Hell, I get it. I catfished somebody once. It was last year. I wasn't in a great place, and I just wanted to feel good about myself again, so I made up a fake identity, and I actually catfished somebody I already knew. I told the Tampa Bay Buccaneers I was the same Tom Brady that won 7 Super Bowls. Never gets old. You know what I'm saying, Bucs fans? Another weird thing about being famous is everything you do is in the public eye, and everyone thinks they deserve to judge you, to scrutinize every minute detail of your life. Most people don't have to deal with that. A while back, a video came out showing me kissing my son on the lips. Everybody was outraged. People were calling it child abuse. People were saying I was depraved, calling it incestuous. I got death threats because of it. Can you imagine what would have happened if I would have kissed him on the butthole? Just kidding. Nobody would ever see that video because I keep it in a vault. This shit is just too goddamned easy. Anyone have pets? I've been a little lonely lately, so I've started thinking about getting a pet. First question you got to answer is whether you're a dog or cat person. So you're basically asking yourself if you want to pick up turds with your bare hands in a plastic bag or keep a giant box of turds in your house. Personally, I don't really like turds. I'm not an intelligent designer, but I figured out a system that works good for me. I got a dog, took him on a walk. The first time he took a shit, I just took him off the leash and let him loose in the neighborhood. Next day I bought a new dog, rinse and repeat. Been doing that for a month or so. Don't worry, it's okay, I have the money. I litter too. I know most people think it's bad, inconsiderate. I get it, but I've done it my whole life and I ain't stopping now. The other day I was coming out of an Arby's, took my last bite of a roast beef and cheddar, wiped the corners of my mouth with the wrapper, then I balled it up and tossed it on the ground. A lady was standing nearby and she goes, excuse me, you missed the trash can. I said, I'm Tom Brady. If I wanted to hit the trash can, I would have hit the trash can. She goes, so you littered on purpose? I said, it's better than littering accidentally like you. She goes, that's offensive. I never litter. So I walked over to her and kicked the roast beef and cheddar out of her hands and said, you just did. Welcome to my world. That might seem mean, but it was actually an altruistic act. I was sincerely trying to help that lady out, trying to show her a different perspective, show her how the other half lives, you know? Because we can all be judgmental about something until we've done it ourselves. This is why I started doing heroin. I'm sorry, that's nothing to joke about. The opioid crisis in America is a serious matter. It's really out of hand now, out of hand and into mouth. Oh, it's too damned easy. You're walking right into these people, but that's okay. I actually like it. I like making people laugh. I mean, other than in my last season with the Bucks, you knew it was coming, you knew it, and you still just kept walking. Ha, 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 this is fun. Everybody having a good night tonight? Ladies having a good night? Fellas, good, good. Anybody on a date here tonight? Okay, quite a few. Anybody on a first date? Ooh, okay, sounds like a few more. I'm going to tell you something. All you people here on a first date, any motherfucker who would suggest coming to a Tom Brady show on a first date is a lunatic. And any motherfucker who would say yes to that date is the exact same type of lunatic. Y'all are matches made in heaven. Get married tonight. Can I get a Tom bomb? Yes, I can. Boom. Been watching a lot of Netflix documentaries lately. They're so good. But can we be real here for just a second? That's way too many fucking documentaries, Netflix. Slow the fuck down with the documentaries. Like I saw one the other night that was about a kid trying to sue Pepsi because they didn't mention in a commercial that they were kidding about giving away a military jet if you drank enough Pepsi. I never knew this happened. I don't care that it did. I Googled to see if he got the jet or not immediately. He didn't. So why in the fuck did I watch the entire thing? Because it was there. And the fucking thing had 4 parts. It wasn't even a movie. It was a goddamn TV series. It's too much. Netflix, you got to thin the herd. I know you know what I'm talking about. You've wasted a night on My Octopus Teacher. You had a whole week or two where the only thing you talked with your friends about was the fucking Tinder swindler. It's too much and it's not right. Netflix, please keep it to wrongly convicted murderers and well-known serial killers. Come on, help us out a little. Anybody ever get amnesia? Show of hands. Any amnesiacs in the audience tonight? No, guess I'm the only one. Yeah, that's right. I had amnesia once. It's a very scary thing. Nothing to make light of. I forgot everything. I forgot my address. I forgot my own name. I even forgot how to play football. And this was pretty recent. It was my last season with Tampa Bay. Bucks, fans, I can do this at will. Never gets old. Hey, what do you call somebody who eats oysters? Me? That's right, I love oysters, all seafood really. If it swims, I eat it. That's my rule. It grosses me out if I think about it too much, though, because when you really boil it down to brass tacks, the sea is a giant toilet. And not just any toilet, it's the oldest toilet on the planet. Billions of years, whatever lives there is just shitting and pissing everywhere, and nobody's there to clean it up. Reminds me of New York City. I hate New York with a passion. I know some people love it. To each their own, I guess, but I don't get it. It's noisy. It smells like garbage. And it gets so cold, your dick sucks up into your body. Wait a second. Are we talking about New York or my ex-wife? I'm kidding, guys. Come on. She wasn't that noisy. When I was playing football, I used to take a second before the game and look out at the crowd. It would pump me up knowing that all those people paid their hard-earned money to watch me perform. It makes me sad to not have that feeling anymore. Might have to start an OnlyFans. Now, I'm not talking about anything too raunchy here. Probably just some shirtless pics of me in my underwear. Oh, wait, that's my Instagram. I don't think I could ever do porn. But maybe it's a generational thing. A recent study estimated that by the year 2030, over half of all American adults will have nude pictures or videos of themselves somewhere online. And it could hurt those people's chances of getting hired. Or it might help. Depends on the person. For example, you, sir, here in the front row, you'd probably have trouble getting hired. No offense, we all know it's true. I see a lot of people here tonight in Tom Brady jerseys. I'll never get used to that. It's like if I worked in an Arby's and every customer who walked through the door was wearing an Arby's uniform. Like, do you not have your own clothes? If you're going to wear my jersey, can you at least put on some shoulder pads with it? You know, give somebody a chance to think it's actually me? I'm kidding. I love seeing people wearing my merch. Show me the money. I don't see fans wearing my jersey. I see next month's alimony check. Started learning a new language. Now that I got some free time on my hands, I figured I should better myself. So I downloaded Duolingo, and I'm teaching myself Portuguese. My ex-wife was from Brazil. She was always begging me to learn a little so I could talk to the in-laws, but I never learned it while we were married. Didn't have the time. I was too busy being the greatest football player in history. Honestly, I'm doing it now just to piss her off. I know it's petty. I know it's childish, but I don't give a shit. That's where I'm at now. Just do not fucking care about anything, and now I do shit just to piss other people off. See, I've had a full adult lifetime of people scrutinizing every aspect of my life, everything from how I play football to how I raise my kids. And if it was just that, the big shit, I'd be all right with that. But it's the small shit, too. Like, remember when I wore that stupid hat? I know you remember that shit. People made fun of my ass for like a month straight because I wore a weird hat. Yeah, you all remember? You're laughing just thinking about it. And that's fine. It was a goofy fucking hat, no doubt. But for real, can you imagine that shit? Seriously, try to imagine it. Like, put yourself in my place. You wear a weird hat out to dinner with your friends once. You thought it looked cool. It didn't. You fucked up. Fine, you can accept that. But you only wore it one time. One fucking time. Then for the next full calendar month, the entire internet is making fun of you for the hat. You are getting 100 to 200 texts per hour. Every thread with every group of friends you have, just an endless stream of memes and jokes about you in the hat. Pictures of you playing football in the hat. Pictures of you lifting weights in the hat, pictures of your wife in the hat, pictures of your kids in the hat, pictures of Shrek in the hat, pictures of the hat holding up the Lombardi trophy. That shit has taken its toll, and now I try to get even by pissing people off. My favorite thing to do is just cut a fucking line somewhere. bunch of people waiting in line at Sprinkles. Oh my God, that's my cocaine. Maybe 5 to 10 people all happy, fantasizing about the red velvet or maybe the vanilla, or maybe they'll get both and save one for later. And then I just fucking cut the line, just bulldoze straight to the fucking front. Fuck you. Immediately they are pissed. From 0 to max, instantaneously. Excuse me, there's a line here. You can't just cut everyone. Then I turn around, make sure they see it's me. Then I go, oh, sorry, I didn't see the line, but I'm running late. I'll just be real fast. Already know what I want. Everybody okay with that? They always say yes. They don't want to, but they always do. So it's their own damn fault when I fucking buy out Sprinkles. All of their nights are ruined, and I fucking love it. Just absolutely cannot find more joy in my life than waking up the next morning and getting a Google alert that somebody tweeted about it. Last night I was at Sprinkles and Tom Brady cut our line and bought all the cupcakes. What an asshole. It is better than morning coffee, I'm telling you. Or sometimes I'll ask somebody if their dog's for sale. Like if someone is walking a dog, that's clearly the most important thing in their life. You know, like if it's wearing clothes, that type of deal. I'll just go up and be like, that's such a beautiful dog. Would you be willing to sell it? They always act offended at first. No, my dog is not for sale. Then I go, $100,000. Then they change their tune. Wait, are you serious? Then I just keep raising the price until they say yes. Usually $1 million gets it done. Then I tell them that I'll meet them later at their house with the money. I get their home address and I just never show up. Ever. Those people are fucked for life because every time they look at their dogs, they're going to see me staring back. And they got to sift through that experience all by themselves. It's such a bizarre story that you can't really tell anyone about it. I truly don't think you could even tell your own fucking mother. Honey, why are you so sad? Well, Mom, Tom Brady told me he'd pay $1 million for Bella. It was a hard decision, but I agreed to it. And then he never showed up. So now I'm just living with the shame of knowing that I was willing to sell her. Your mom would laugh her fucking ass off. I'm a feminist. Been a feminist for a while now. Because I have a daughter. I never really thought about feminism before that, but once you have a daughter, shit changes. Fast. The whole way you view the world is different overnight. You go to sleep one night absolutely fine with teen porn, and then you wake up the next morning and you're like, I can never watch this again. And why are we even making it in the first place? Like, can't we be okay with early 20s? If it's good enough for Leonardo DiCaprio, then isn't it good enough for America? Hi, Leo. He came tonight. He's in the back. He comes to all of my shows. We're friends now. I had 2 sons before I had my daughter, both just terrible pieces of shit. They're entitled, they're vapid, they're fucking greedy. I overheard them a few weeks ago talking about which one of them was going to outlive the other and get the entire Brady fortune one day. I thought about saying something, but instead I just changed my will. Their sister gets it all. I feel like that's being a good feminist. I'm just kidding. My sons are great boys, but they're not daughters. You start thinking about things you never thought of before having a daughter, like sunscreen. My 2 sons, I do not give a fuck if their faces look like catcher's mitts by the time they're 30. Just haggard, deep lines in the forehead, 1920s Oklahoma Dust Bowl type shit. Do not care. But my daughter, I know it's different for women. It shouldn't be, but it is. That's the sad truth of our society. So her mother and I gave her the best genes in human history, and I'm going to add on top of that the best preventative skincare routine the world has ever seen. SPF 100 at all times, sleeping 14 hours a day minimum. She's been getting Botox since she was 8. She's going to be fucking immortal. Meanwhile, her brothers are having sunburn contests to see who can get the reddest. No, that's not true. Feels true, though. All of it feels true. And that's kind of where we are in America, right? If something feels true, then it's as good as being true, but we have to get away from this way of thinking because there is a real objective truth that exists independent of whatever any of us are feeling. And if we start ignoring that, we're just living in a fantasy. For example, right now, standing on this stage feels incredible. It feels so good to me that I can honestly say it feels like winning the Super Bowl last year. But that's not reality, right? Bucks Nation, let me hear you. I like to tease the Bucks fans. I figure I gave you a Super Bowl, so I get to tease you. Fair exchange, fair exchange. Remember Beast Mode? A few years back, Beast Mode was the shit. Everybody wanted to be in Beast Mode. You'd see people wearing Beast Mode shirts in the gym, Beast Mode bumper stickers, people getting Beast Mode tattoos, living Beast Mode lifestyles. But now there's a new mode. You heard about this? It's called Goblin Mode, and it's being described as the new Beast Mode. I didn't know about this until a few days ago. I got a text from Gronk. It was a picture of him eating a bucket of popcorn while he was on the toilet. And he captioned it Goblin Mode. I immediately Googled Goblin Mode. It turns out Goblin Mode basically means you are indulging in your most base habits and impulses and not giving a single fuck about what anybody else thinks. And this is the new beast mode? I don't think so. Goblin mode is the exact opposite of fucking beast mode. Beast mode, if you'll fucking remember, was all about self-improvement and self-empowerment. You fucking worked out hard. You took no fucking prisoners. And you did not stop until you achieved success in every fucking endeavor. Now, I know a lot of bad shit has happened in the last few years, and we're all dealing with it the best we can, but Goblin mode, fucking seriously? I'll tell you who you won't see in fucking Goblin mode. China. My kids are always telling me about things that trigger them. That's the new thing, getting triggered. It's like a little thing you can see or hear that will raise your anxiety or remind you of some past trauma. And people want you to give them a warning now if you're going to do something or say something that might trigger them. This is called a trigger warning. You know who didn't get a trigger warning? Abraham Lincoln. Post-apocalyptic shows are big now. Everybody's watching this shit. You know why? Because secretly we're all fantasizing about society ending. I know you know what I'm talking about. The whole world is fucked up bad, and there's nothing we can do to change that in a significant enough way to really matter. So whether it's by zombies or nuclear war or a virus, we take collective pleasure in the fantasy of society coming down around us. And I have never felt more like I wanted society to collapse than when I was about 90 minutes into Avatar 2, Way of the Water. Have you seen this thing? It's over 3 fucking hours long. 3 fucking hours, god damn it. No movie should be that long. I don't know why this shit gets to me so much, but it fucking does. It's like, for real, dude. You had to do 3 full hours of these fucking aliens flipping around in the water. Who cares? And by the way, I know you're capable of making a shorter movie because you already fucking did it. It's called Avatar 1. 2 hours, 42 minutes. That's long but acceptable. Jesus fucking Christ. But I guess that's how this shit is going now. Just make things as long as possible for no fucking reason. I saw this thing where somebody used an AI to make a perpetual episode of Seinfeld. You heard me correctly. An episode of Seinfeld that never fucking ends. Like, seriously, AI is the most cutting-edge technology in the world. It has the power to revolutionize human society, and we're using it to make TV shows longer. We could have a cure for cancer by now, but instead we got an eternal episode of a TV show that was already on the air for 9 fucking seasons. God damn it. You know, if you're going to waste this shit on making TV shows, at least do it with a show that got canceled too soon. Give me a proper ending to fucking Firefly, fucking Dark Angel, fucking Heroes at least. A lot of people have weird handshakes now. You're looking at me like, what's he talking about? But you know, you fucking know. Don't even play like you don't. Every person in here has a handshake friend. Somebody who made up an elaborate handshake, and they make you do it every time you see them. Either you have a handshake friend, or maybe you are the handshake friend. Like me, I am the handshake friend. I fucking love handshakes. All my friends know it, and I make up a handshake for every one of them. And some friends are cool with it. They'll indulge up to like 3 flourishes. You can get like a high five to shoulder slaps to back pat out of most friends. But you go higher than that, and they're like, come on, dude, what we have is good enough. And that's fine. I get it. It's not for everybody. But if you're lucky like me, you have a friend who is also a handshake friend, somebody else who loves this shit just as much as you do. And the handshake you make with this motherfucker is art. It's part ballet, part CrossFit. It requires athleticism, precision, creativity, and maybe most of all, perfect timing. It's so highly choreographed that if you aren't in perfect synchronicity, mirroring each other's movements exactly, one of you could break a bone. It's happened before. All of that is simply to say that during the COVID-19 pandemic, me and my handshake friend didn't get to do our handshake for 2 years. So the first time we were going to see each other again, I got excited like, oh shit, I get to do the handshake again. But then I was like, oh, wait, though, what if he doesn't want to do it now, or what if he forgot how? This is all the shit that's going through my head as I pull up to his house and knock on the door, and I can see it in his eyes immediately. He's been waiting for this. I shit you not, we did the entire handshake front to back without skipping a beat. Open with a gentleman transition into arm yankers, into human straitjacket, into finger braids, into shin monsters, into thumb lock merry-go-round, into sacred geometry tutting. Finish it off with double back flips that end in a soul-to-soul. When we finished, we were both a little out of breath, but he was so happy he screamed, I love you, Tom Brady. So I screamed back, I love you too, Mark Wahlberg. Yeah, that's right. Mark Wahlberg was actually the person who turned me on to handshakes. He's here tonight, in the back. I can see him trying to teach Leo a handshake. Been there, done that, Mark. Not going to turn out well. Leo is a little, how do you say, too cool for school. Have you noticed prices for things are going up? Me neither. You know who's a hardcore motherfucker? The first guy that ate yogurt, that guy was a fucking beast. You know what yogurt is? It's milk fermented by bacteria. Fucking disgusting. You know who first discovered it? Neither does anybody else, but historians think that the first yogurt produced was probably around 5,000 years ago in Mesopotamia, when a cow's udders got infected with bacteria and started producing fermented milk. So imagine this shit. You're a farmer in Mesopotamia. One morning you wake up to milk Bessie, and instead of milk you squeeze out fucking yogurt. And then your first move is not to call the vet, but to eat it. Just some thick-ass goo that is definitely not milk, and you're like, fuck it, down the hatch. Then your wife comes in the barn, and she's like, what the fuck are you doing with that goo? And you convince her to taste it, and she's like, you know what it needs? Blueberries. And that's how Yoplait was founded. Oldest company on earth. Not a lot of people know that. I'm just kidding, of course. We all know the oldest company in the world is actually Kongo Gumi, the Japanese construction company that was founded in 578 AD. But the Mesopotamians did invent something that's still around today, and just as important now as it ever was. You know what I'm talking about? That green, that lettuce, that cabbage, that celery, that salad, that cheddar, that Gouda, that bacon, that bread, that dough, that cream, that cake, that rack, that stack, that scratch, that fin, that franklin, that frog skin, that gelt, that shekel, that ducat, that moolah, that simoleon, that capital, that guap, that guala, that chalupa, that smacker, that tender, that loot, that lucre, that grease, that nugget, that paper, that wad, that clam, that dub, that fetty, that skrilla, that resource, that dosh, that quid, that wonga, that yaper, that bean, that benji, that bone, that boodle, that brass, that buck. I'm talking about money. That easy money, that ATM money, that even money, that folding money, that front money, that glove money, that bus money, that cab money, that gas money, that church money, that government money, that tax money, that dark money, that blood money, that drug money, that dirty money, that murder money, that hot money, that date money, that rent money, that travel money, that honest money, that hush money, that mad money, that mattress money, that big money, that little money, that old money, that new money, that Christmas money, that birthday money, that lunch money, that milk money, that beer money, that tip money, that pin money, that plastic money, that foreign money, that seed money, that laundry money, that play money, that funny money, that silly money, that serious money, that smart money, that retirement money, that inheritance money, that lottery money. And you know what they say about money? Time is money, money is power, money is the root of all evil, money doesn't grow on trees, money to burn, get your money's worth, money makes money, money can't buy happiness, money makes the world go round, money talks, put your money where your mouth is, you're in the money, you're made of money, you're on the money, show me the money, take the money and run, give someone a run for their money, rolling in money, raking in the money, throw money at it, a day late and a dollar short, a penny saved is a penny earned at the drop of a dime, bang for your buck, bet your bottom dollar, pay top dollar, in for a penny, in for a pound, pennies from heaven, penny for your thoughts, that's my 2 cents. Can I get a Tom bomb? Yes, you can. Boom. We're absolutely obsessed with money in America. We love us some motherfucking billionaires. Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Zuck. Billionaires are cool, no doubt about it. You know, a lot of people think I'm a billionaire, but that's actually not true. I'm just like you. Only 500 million liquid in the bank. But I know a lot of billionaires. A bunch of the NFL owners are billionaires. I know some entertainment billionaires. I know an oil billionaire. Bunch of them. Different backgrounds, different industries. But no matter how they made their billions, I learned they all have one thing in common. They drink baby's blood. It's too easy. Fucking Darth Vader, you seen this shit? Darth Vader, this motherfucker wears all black. And I mean all fucking black. He has like a few little lights and buttons and circuits and shit like that on this chest plate thing. But other than that, just legit 100% all black outfit. And this ain't just like some shirt and pants shit. Oh no, the man wears a literal cape. I repeat, he is wearing a cape all the time, never not in the cape. He's sleeping in the cape, he's showering in the cape, he's working out in the cape, using the force to bench 350 without touching the bar, just playing pickup basketball, sits in the middle of the court, never fucking moves, ball just flying around by itself, nobody even gets to touch it. His team wins 500-0 every time people start complaining. He gets his gym membership revoked. I'm just joking, but seriously, in addition to this long, beautiful, flowing cape, this man also wears an entire ass helmet, and it looks weird. Not like a regular motorcycle helmet or something. It's kind of got like a face on it, like it's got eyes and shit. And this triangle thing that kind of looks like a mouth, like he definitely wants it to look like a face. Like that was the goal with this helmet's design. Like he for sure told the helmet designer, I want a helmet and I want it to look more like a face than a non-face. And that dude made it for him, no questions asked, I guess. And now the motherfucker is walking around in all black, wearing a cape and a full-headed helmet that looks like a face. And you know what the craziest part about all this shit is? Nobody says shit about it. All of the motherfuckers that work with him, fucking silent. Is this some type of joke? How can they not notice this man striding down the hall in all black, a cape and a fucking helmet? Oh, and he's like 7 feet tall, so he's going to stick out in the crowd. And literally every person he encounters, fine with all of it. Just never a question, never a side comment made between two friends, no one having conversations about this with anyone. if I ever saw a 7-foot tall man in all black wearing a cape and helmet, literally the first thing I would do is go to the nearest person I could find and say, do you know what is going on with that 7-foot tall guy in all black wearing a cape and a helmet? And then if they didn't know, that person would come with me to a third person, and we would keep doing that until we knew why the fuck there was a 7-foot tall guy in all black wearing a cape and a helmet walking through the parking lot at Arby's. I'm Catholic, so for me, I believe Jesus is the Son of God and the only path to heaven. Not everybody believes that, and I'm cool with that. None of us really know what the fuck any of this is anyway, so we all get to choose a story. So I chose Catholicism, which means Jesus is my guy, my intelligent designer, which means he's the guy I picture watching me shit. And I always wonder where I rank on his list of favorite shitters, like I'm probably near the top of his list. I'm a fantastic shitter, as I'm sure you can imagine. But I'm aware enough to know it's very unlikely I'm his favorite shitter. And I wonder about who that person is. A lot. Like at night sometimes when I can't sleep. Like, does Jesus get hyped when this person's about to shit? He's up in heaven planning his second coming with some angels, and he's like, excuse me, Gabriel Michael, I have something that needs my attention. And they're like, you're omnipotent, you can kind of be everywhere simultaneously. And he's like, yes, my child, but right now there's only one place I want to be. And he just teleports to wherever that person is, turns invisible, and just watches them shit. So like, who is that person that he's putting his work life on hold for, just to watch them shit? Is it like somebody who shits perfect turds, just pearls, just smooth stones, like you could get 5 skips out of it on a still pond, just perfect size and consistency, like a pickle, just never needs to wipe? Had the same roll of toilet paper in the holder for 5 years? Or is it somebody who can like really shit? You know what I'm talking about? Somebody like Gronk, just some goblin mode motherfucker who's been on a steady diet of Baconators and gas station hot dogs since he was 5, has ended house parties, has shut down public restrooms, just a fucking monster. Or is it somebody who can't control their shit, somebody with IBS or something, just always sprinting to the shitter at awkward times, shitting their pants and getting fired all the time, just miserable because of their uncontrollable shitting? And Jesus likes to feel their suffering. Maybe that's what he likes about it. I don't know. But like I was saying, I'm Catholic, so Jesus is my guy. But I have friends who believe all kinds of different things. I have Muslim friends, Jewish friends. I even have a few atheist friends. You know what one of them said to me once? He said, you know how you know there's no God? Guy Fieri. I'm kidding, of course. I love Guy Fieri. Guy Fieri did a few scenes in my movie, and we hung out a little on set. I learned some interesting shit about Guy Fieri. First thing I learned, that's not his real name. That's right. Guy Fieri is not really Guy Fieri. His real name is Guy Ferry. And he changed it to Fieri because that was his family's original surname, and his grandpa changed it to Ferry when they came to Ellis Island from Italy. So Guy decided to change it back to Fieri to honor his family. Then he decided on the bleached tips and mustache to dishonor them. Had to even it out. I'm kidding. I love Guy Fieri. He's here tonight. Hey, Guy, I hope you're having a good time. Have a basket of tenders on me and try not to come in your pants this time. I think about death a lot. Not dying, but like death itself. The state of being dead. Like I said, I'm a Catholic, so I believe in heaven. And that worries me. Yes, it does. Now, let me tell you why. Supposedly, when you go to heaven, you don't age. You're in perfect shape forever. Supposedly, when you get there, it's pure love. Literally, everyone loves you. And there's no money in heaven, so you never have to worry about it again. All of that sounds great, but it's basically what I already got. So, like, I'd love to wind up in heaven one day, but what's in it for me, no offense, just doesn't seem like much of an upgrade for me personally. Great for most people, but for me, it's more of a lateral move. You know, some people think heaven is whatever you want it to be, like different heavens for every person based on their specific preferences, and I'm down with that, except for one thing. What if somebody's idea of heaven is kicking me in the nuts for eternity? And I'm sure that person is out there, probably a few of them actually. If you weren't a Patriots fan in the past 2 decades, I probably ruined at least a few Sundays for you. And I definitely did if you're a Bucs fan. Hello, Bucs fans. So to me, that whatever kind of heaven you want theory can't work. Too many conflicting heavens. I hope there's something after death, though. I think we all do, because we can't imagine a reality that exists without us. We know what happens to the body, worm food, but the mind, the spirit, the soul, whatever you want to call it, surely that must go on, right? Like I said, I hope so, but I'm not positive. People have died and come back. Happens all the time in accidents and on operating tables. Thousands of cases of people being dead for a few minutes and then getting resuscitated. And at least to my knowledge, not one of those motherfuckers has come back and been like, kill me now. I have to get back to being dead. When they bring these motherfuckers back, they are thankful as shit. So I don't know about heaven. If you were in heaven just living it up, like partying with Elvis constantly, watching an eternal Richard Pryor set, kicking somebody in the nuts forever, and then you get ripped back down to earth, You're not going to be happy going back to a mid-level software sales position. It's a good job, don't get me wrong, good benefits and everything, but it ain't blowing rails off an angel's ass with Sam Kinison. You would not be happy to be back, but you never get that reaction, so I don't know. Yep, I think about death a lot. You know what else I think about a lot? Tim Allen, this fucking guy made $300 million grunting. Yes, he was a professional grunter. Back in the 90s, this guy had a TV show called Home Improvement, and that show was just 30 fucking minutes of him grunting and doing fuck all else. It was funny for the first 2 or 3 episodes, and I was always like, okay, I get it, he's a grunter, but he's not going to just keep grunting, right? Surely there's more to the show than just his grunts, right? Like have him do a grunt every once in a while, and it could be funny in the right context, but no more than that. But whoever made this fucking show must have had some grunt data that nobody knew about, because they had this fucking guy firing off grunts like 5 to 10 times per episode. And this fucking show ran for 8 seasons. People loved how this guy would grunt. I just watch this shit and think about the thousands of hours I put in on the practice field, in the gym, studying game tape, studying game theory, studying esoteric mathematical predictive models, and memorizing probability charts for play calls. And this motherfucker grunts. That's the real American dream, just grunting on national TV for a decade. I love Tim Allen. He's here tonight. Tim, can we get a grunt? No? I get it. It's like if somebody just asked me to win a Super Bowl on the spot. Well, you know what? How about we all give you a grunt in tribute to your grunting? Okay. Everybody here tonight on the count of 3, grunt for the grunt god, Tim Allen. 1, 2, 3. You know what I really hate? Waking up. And you know why I hate it? Ha, ha, ha. Very funny, sir. Very funny. Not everyone could hear this, but a gentleman sitting in the front row said, waking up alone. Can I ask you a question, sir? Is this your wife sitting next to you? It is. Fantastic. Congratulations. How long have you been married? 7 years. That's a long time. Do you know how many mornings your wife wished she could have woken up alone? Waking up alone is a gift, sir. A fucking gift. I might get married again one day. I don't know, but I'm never, I repeat, never sleeping in the same bed with another person again. Why would I? So I can get woken up 10 times to refill a fucking cup of water? So I can listen to a cell phone on the other side of the bed buzzing and dinging all night long? So I can listen to an alarm go off for an hour straight at 5:30? So I can wake up freezing because all the covers are on the fucking floor? Not even on her. She just threw them all on the fucking ground. She doesn't want them on the bed, so fuck me, I guess. That's how it goes. Well, fuck that shit. I love waking up alone. I'm going to have it in my next prenup that my wife cannot fall asleep in my bed under any circumstances. She can sleep on the couch or her bed or the backyard or wherever she wants, but not with me. Not my bed. So no, sir, waking up alone is not the reason I hate waking up, and you are an asshole for saying that to me. Now enjoy the rest of the show. The real reason I hate waking up is cell phones. Yes, cellular telephones, that's right, I said it. I don't like cell phones when I'm trying to wake up. Let me tell you a little secret. I'm Gen X. We're the last motherfuckers to grow up before cell phones, and we hated being in bed. Nothing to do in bed. It was boring as shit, but now you got a cell phone. So if I wake up at 9, I'm in bed until noon watching pimple-popping videos on TikTok. I've never even had a pimple. Why am I watching this shit? Because it's fucking there. I've wasted entire weekends ordering food, not changing clothes, not showering, just living in my bed, scrolling through slime videos. I'm one of the greatest athletes in the world, in fucking history. And I'm mesmerized into paralysis by dogs pressing buttons to tell their owners they have to take a shit. That's why I don't like waking up. I already know whatever I got planned is going to get demolished by a guy doing mediocre paint drip art. And that's not how I want to spend my morning. I like to wake up, get in a solid workout, get the blood pumping, make me feel better. And hitting the gym gives me a chance to do my new thing. I call it the Sauna King. I mentioned earlier that I like pissing people off now. Well, I also like making shit awkward as fuck. Just give somebody a moment that they'll wonder about for the rest of their lives. So when I go in the sauna, I hold fucking court. No headphones, no music. I don't even sit down. I stand right in the middle of the sauna, naked, just cock out, making extreme eye contact with everybody in there. Make sure the mood is weird. Then I launch into a story. Could be about football. Could be about where I ate lunch yesterday. Doesn't matter. All that matters is that Tom Brady is standing naked in a sauna telling you a story. Now you ain't going nowhere. This could be a once-in-a-lifetime occurrence. You're already thinking about how you'll be able to tell this story for the rest of your life, but you got to see how it ends, and it never does. Because when the Sauna King starts a story, the Sauna King don't stop. I keep these motherfuckers in that steam room until they start getting lightheaded, eyes rolling back in their head, tongues hanging out of their mouths from dehydration. I've been in thousands of saunas in my life. My sauna stamina is off the fucking charts. I'm going to outlast you every time. And if someone does have the stones to get up and leave, I make them give me a hug first. Literally block the door and say, it was great meeting you, put out my arms and force you to go sweaty chest to sweaty chest. Sometimes I'll just go, you guys mind if I take a piss in here? And I shit you not, nobody ever objects. So I just let her rip, hose down the hot rocks, then go back to my story. And that's the Sauna King. You can use that if you want, but I'm not sure it really works for somebody who's not famous. Try it out though, it's a lot of fun. So I'm technically unemployed now, and I'm obviously looking for my next career. I know this is my first attempt at stand-up comedy, but I'm liking it so far. It's pretty fun, and it's obviously very fucking easy, but you know what's even easier? Being a DJ. Have you seen this shit? You just show up somewhere, open your laptop, and play songs on Spotify, right? Like, am I missing something here? I always see videos of these motherfuckers with this giant board in front of them, lights and knobs and shit everywhere, and they act like they're pressing buttons and doing shit, but that's all for show, right? They're just acting busy. A lot of times all that shit in front of them isn't even plugged into anything. Now that's the job I want, just fake, like you're good at it until people figure out how shitty you are. Actually, I guess I already had that job. It was my last season with Tampa Bay. Bucks fans, I know you're out there. That one was for you. Actually, you know what the hardest part about being a DJ is? Picking your name. All the big DJs have these weird fucking names. Tisto, Diplo, Kygo, Alesso, Marshmello. You know who already has a great DJ name? Tebow. He was a shitty quarterback, but with a name like that, he would crush as a DJ. I'm joking. Me and Tim Tebow are great friends. He's here tonight. Hi, Timmy. Remember when you got drafted and you called me up to ask for advice about navigating the NFL? You remember what I told you? I said, don't play against me. Those were good times. But for real, you know what my DJ name would be? It would be Tom fucking Brady. Are you kidding me? I got one of the most recognizable names in the world. It's a brand unto itself. You think I'm going to change it to Turbo or Verbo or Mango or Tango or Pepto or Klepto or Crypto or Hippo or Zippo or Bippo or some other clown-ass shit just because I'm playing Spotify songs in a club now? Not a fucking chance. Tom Brady for life, motherfucker. Can I get a Tom bomb? Yes, I can. Boom. I constantly get asked how I was so good at football for so long. The answer's pretty simple, really. It boils down to one thing: karate. That's correct. I'm talking about the ancient Japanese martial arts system. I couldn't let anyone know this while I was playing, but now that I'm retired for good, I can reveal that I am a 10th degree black belt in Shotokan karate, and I would use my karate expertise to deliver short, powerful, and obviously illegal strikes to opposing players' weak points in every game. Somebody busts through the line, looks like they're going to sack me, chop to the head. I get flushed out of the pocket and have to run for a few yards. A linebacker's coming right for me, chop to the head. One of my own players is popping off on the sideline, blaming somebody else for their fuck-up, chop to the head. I was so fast with my chops that refs never saw them. Never got flagged for it once. Hell, the people I was chopping didn't even know what was happening most of the time. I remember being in a meeting with Belichick once, just me and him in his office. He's trying to lay some bullshit at my feet about I made the wrong play call in the fourth quarter of a meaningless regular season game. And he was right. That particular time it was 100% my fault. Didn't care. Didn't want to listen to his bullshit. Gave him a chop to the head. Belichick went down like a ton of bricks. Woke up the next morning, didn't even remember the meeting. Now I know what you're thinking, Tom. Did those head chops result in any permanent damage? The short answer is I think so. I wouldn't be surprised if I'm responsible for most, if not all, of the CTE currently in the NFL. Something like that might weigh heavy on a normal person's conscience, but I'm a champion, and I realize that karate chopping people in the head and giving them repeated traumatic brain injuries that will have devastating long-term effects on the rest of their lives is just the price I got to pay to be on top. 7 Super Bowls, people. It was worth it. I'd do it again. Don't hate the player. Karate definitely helped me in the NFL, but you know what would be even better than karate on the football field? Being a vampire. But Tom, what kind of vampire would you be? There are a bunch of different kinds of vampires now. There's old-ass vampires like Count Dracula. There's young-ass vampires like Twilight. There's badass-ass vampires like Underworld. So what kind would I be? To answer that question, we got to answer another question. What kind of vampire would be the best at football? I know it's crazy. I sound like a madman, but let's just calm it down and take this seriously for a second. Ride with me here. We got some data. We can zero this down. We already seen a bunch of Draculas. We've seen Draculas that can turn into bats. Not that helpful in a game situation. We've seen Draculas that can do hypnosis. Sounds pretty good, but they got to stare into somebody's eyes for a few seconds to really get them. And 2 seconds in the NFL is the difference between a win and a loss. Maybe the best football skill we've seen from Dracula is that this motherfucker can move. I mean, this man is fast, like can teleport basically. So if he has the ball, you are not catching him, period. But I don't know if he can throw a pass. And a quarterback who just scores rushing touchdowns isn't a real quarterback. That's a running back or maybe a wide receiver. Fuck, that's what Dracula is. He's a wide receiver. You imagine me throwing to Count Dracula, fucking 2,000-yard games, just blowouts, and that would be fun, but I wouldn't want to be Dracula. Got to be some type of vampire that can play quarterback. We also have some evidence on the underworld-type vampires. They're always in black leather, look much cooler than Dracula. They're always fighting against big criminal vampire organizations that want to take over the world and shit like that. They use guns and swords, and they use karate. So I already got a lot in common with these kinds of vampires. They're super strong and fast. Not as fast as Dracula, but like way better than a human being. And their eye hand is on another level. Like they can see bullets and dodge them and shit like that. So I feel very confident that they could scramble in the pocket and throw a 70-yard bomb. Unfortunately, they got a problem. No day games. They literally burn up in the sun. Bye-bye. So to avoid experiencing the true death, you'd have to miss most of the season. So no thank you. So where does that leave us? We really only got one choice here, and that is to be a Twilight vampire, which is fucking shitty. Yes, they can go in the sun, and the only thing that happens is they sparkle. No spontaneous combustion. So you can play day games, a.k.a. the Super Bowl. But of all the vampires, the Twilight vampire is the only one we've actually seen play sports. And they're fucking terrible. You remember this shit? In the first Twilight, these Seattle-ass vampires, the Cullens, roll out to the middle of this clearing in the forest to play baseball. They're all wearing little baseball outfits. They got like a $5 garage sale aluminum bat and one ball. Yes, a single fucking baseball, just no need for any other equipment. And it's lightning and thunder everywhere. And they tell Bella, oh yeah, we can only play baseball when it thunders because when we hit the ball, it's so loud, people would be like, what the fuck is going on in that forest? So at first you're like, okay, maybe they came to play. Maybe they're hardcore athletes. They're creating loud noises because they hit the ball so hard. And they brought one ball, one bat, no catcher's gear, not even fucking gloves. That's some old school hard-nosed type shit. I'm in. Let's see where this goes. Then it goes right down the shitter. The pitcher is like doing ballet or some shit as she pitches, like pointing her toe and shit. Just can tell immediately this vampire does not know how to play baseball at all, just fucking faking it completely. Then she throws what looks like maybe a 50-mile-an-hour attempt at a fast ball. Ladies and gentlemen, I was hitting home runs off 70 miles an hour in the 6th grade. Then the batter hits the ball. Again, they supposedly hit the ball so hard it sounds like thunder. This ball goes 250 feet, maybe 300. There's not enough pop on it to go over the fence at most high schools in America. And then Edward Cullen, this is Robert Pattinson, the main vampire. He's playing center field. He gets a fucking terrible jump on the ball and has to use his vampire speed to track the ball down and just barely makes what amounts to a routine catch in deep center. Honest evaluation of Edward Cullen's athletic ability, he'd be like a very good NFL player, not the best by a long shot. So I wouldn't want to be a Twilight vampire, but I got no other choice, I guess. You ever seen somebody eat something in such a weird way that you couldn't stop watching? You know what I'm talking about, right? Eating something with their hands that we all know you eat with a fork, like spaghetti or something, scrambled eggs, or somebody who eats a banana with the peel on, just bites into the whole thing. I've seen some weird eaters in my life, but I saw a guy the other day that fucking took the cake. I'm in Arby's, just unwrapped my first roast beef and cheddar. I bring it up to my mouth, about to sink those teeth into the first bite, and then I look up and see this guy with an order of mozzarella sticks. I don't know how many times I've seen somebody eat a mozzarella stick. Conservatively, I'd say I've seen somewhere in the ballpark of 1,000 mozzarella sticks consumed by other people. I know the variations. Sometimes you get an early biter. We all know the mozzarella inside the stick is like lava when you first get it. The mozz is hot. You got to wait. Maybe even poke a few holes in it with a fork. Early biter doesn't give a shit about this. Early biter just tears into the stick as soon as it hits the table. Early biter has no regard for personal safety. Early biter gets third-degree burns about the roof of his mouth and tongue. Or sometimes you get a cheese sucker. The cheese sucker is a little gross, but not that weird. Not that uncommon. Everybody in this room has seen a cheese sucker at least once. If you're laughing too hard at this joke, we all know you're a cheese sucker now. You psychotic fucks leave the fried outer crust behind. Just suck out the cheese. Leave a basket of hollowed out husks. It's a waste, but fine, whatever. Maybe you got a gluten allergy or a dietary restriction. There are legitimate reasons why you might have to suck all the hot mozz out of a mozzarella stick and leave behind the fried shell like a used condom. But I cannot put together any kind of a plausible explanation for how I saw this man eating a basket of mozzarella sticks at Arby's. This man ate the sticks with intention. This man ate the sticks as though time did not exist. This man ate the sticks as though no one else was watching. But someone was watching. Me, I was abso-fucking-lutely watching. This man brings a stick up to his mouth before his ass even hits the chair. So I'm like, easy, early biter, gonna get burned up. Makes sense. Only problem is, this man has a slow stick hand. Early biters have fast stick hands. This man has a slow stick hand. Yes, the stick's at his mouth as soon as he sits down, but he had to start that move at the counter. But cheese suckers have slow stick hands sometimes. Must be a cheese sucker. I could see that for him. Then this man does something I've never witnessed anyone do while eating a mozzarella stick. This man nibbles the tiniest bite I've ever seen taken. I had a pet rat when I was a kid, Dominic, and Dominic took some small fucking bites. This man's bite is smaller. He bites off just enough to make a hole in the fried part, exposing the mozz, not like a cheese sucker. Cheese suckers always bite off the entire tip, like a cigar in the movies. That way they can suck the cheese out, but this man clearly wants it to stay in. This man threads the hot mozz through the little hole he made, holds the hot mozz in his teeth, then simultaneously pulls the stick away from his mouth and pulls his head away from the stick. The result is a 3-foot-long string of golden mozz cooling in the Arby's air conditioning, stretched from his hand to his mouth. I'd never seen anything like that. Don't know that I ever will. Looked like a fucking angel wing. And then this man does not move his hand. Just keeps it there holding the stick like it was designed to only do that. Like God literally said, I'm going to make a man with a perfect Arby's mozzarella stick holding hand. Then this man, this beautiful man, closes his eyes and proceeds to eat the mozz in a way that I wish I could be loved. He is gentle to the mozz and kind to the mozz and funny to the mozz and charming to the mozz. This man takes his time with the mozz. This man makes the mozz feel seen, small, easy bites, never a reckless slurp or raising of the stick over the head. No way. This man knows what he's doing with the mozz, and once he gets the stick back to his mouth, this man does it all over again. I watched this man eat a basket of Arby's mozzarella sticks over the course of 3.5 hours, just fucking mesmerized. And when he finishes the last one, I have to know where he learned to eat mozz like that. So I go, excuse me, I have to know, where did you learn to do that with an Arby's mozzarella stick, Dad? You know what this man said to me? He goes, none of your goddamn business. I bought this man 6 houses, and he won't tell me why he eats mozz like Jason Momoa. This is my old man, my 12th man, my yes man, my good man, my bad man, my bag man, my hatchet man, my con man, my elder statesman, my every man, my soul man, my family man, my gentleman, my straight man, my funny man, my money man, my rain man, my Cinderella man, my company man, my garbage man, my milk man, my medicine man, my snowman, my straw man, my bionic man, my rocket man, my self-made man, my he-man, my Batman, my Iceman, my Spider-Man, my Iron Man, my Aquaman, my Superman, my hard man, my postman, my point man, my middle man, my main man, my leading man, my leg man, my ass man, my boob man, my backdoor man, my ladies man, my right-hand man, my dog bites man, my man bites dog, my man among men, my man without a hat, my man in the high tower, my man with the golden gun, my man with 2 brains, my man in the iron mask, my man in the mirror, my man in the box, my man in black, my man in the moon, my man from Mars, my man at arms, my man of war, my man of God, my man and wife, my man in the street, my man down, my man of few words, my man of his word, my man called horse, my man for all seasons, my one-man band, my one-man show, my big man on campus, my no man's land, my dead man walking, my right man for the job, my father. I love my father, I truly do. He's had an enormous impact on my life, and even on this very show tonight. I called this show It's Too Easy, and I've said that phrase a few times tonight. I imagine most of you were like, Jesus, what an asshole. But the truth is, I don't think it's too easy. That's just a phrase I say when I'm nervous. When I'm scared, I won't do a good job. And it's a phrase my dad taught me when I was in junior high. I was about to start my first game at quarterback, and I told him I couldn't go out there. What if I mess up? And he said, Tom, when you're nervous about something, just say to yourself, it's too easy, and then whatever it is will be. That's something I've taken with me throughout life, and if I leave you with one thing before I go, I want it to be that. No matter what you're facing, just tell yourself it's too easy, and it will be. Say it with me, it's too easy. Actually, I think I want to leave you with another piece of advice he gave me. It's actually a little better. This is something he told me a little over a year ago. I was up against a tough spot, and he told me, Tom, I think you should play one more season with Tampa Bay, Bucks Nation. You knew I was going to go out with a bang. Can I get a Tom bomb? Yes, I can. Boom. Thank you, everyone, for coming out tonight. Hope to see you again soon. I had a blast. Get home safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom, and thank you everyone for watching and listening to It's Too Easy, a simulated hour-long Tom Brady stand-up comedy special. I will use the day dive collected from this simulated hour-long stand-up comedy special to make the next one even better. Until then, call me Dude Z.